Do you know why most traders don't fail because they're lazy? They fail because they're tired. Not sleepy tired, not I need a nap tired. I mean emotionally exhausted. The kind of tired that makes you break rules you know are right. The kind that makes you overtrade after swearing you wouldn't. The kind that makes discipline feel heavy instead of simple. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most traders aren't undisciplined, they're drained. They're burned out from fighting their own mind every single day. Let me show you what's really going on. Because once you see this, you stop blaming yourself and you start fixing the right problem. Let me ask you something. Have you ever followed your rules perfectly for days, then suddenly snapped on one trade? Not because the setup was bad, not because you didn't know better, but because you just couldn't hold it together anymore. That's not a discipline problem. That's emotional fatigue. And almost no one talks about it. So, let's break this down. Number one, discipline is not a personality trait. It's a limited resource. This is where most traders get it wrong. They think discipline is who you are, like confidence or talent. But psychology says something else. Self-control works like a muscle. The more you use it, the more it gets tired. Every time you don't take a bad setup, you wait for confirmation, you hold through drawdown, you follow your plan when emotions scream otherwise, you're spending mental energy. And trading drains that energy fast. Why? Because markets are uncertain, and the human brain hates uncertainty. Your mind is constantly asking, am I right? What if this reverses? What if I miss the move? What if I lose again? That inner noise never shuts off. So by the time you reach your breaking point, you don't break because you're weak. You break because you're depleted. Think about it. You don't overtrade on day one. You overtrade after hours of resisting impulses. You don't revenge trade when you wake up. You revenge trade after holding it together all session. That's emotional exhaustion, not lack of discipline. And here's the dangerous part. When you believe you're undisciplined, you try to fix the wrong thing. You push harder, you tighten rules, you add pressure. And pressure accelerates burnout, which leads to more mistakes. It's a vicious loop. Number two, emotional suppression is silently destroying your consistency. Most traders are taught one thing: control your emotions. Sounds good, but it's incomplete because control often turns into suppression. You don't process fear, you shove it down. You don't accept frustration, you ignore it. You don't release stress, you carry it. And guess what happens to suppressed emotions? They don't disappear, they accumulate, like steam in a closed container. Eventually, something explodes. That explosion looks like breaking rules, oversizing, chasing entries, clicking buy or sell without thinking. Not because you don't care, but because your system is overloaded. This is emotional intelligence 101. Emotions are signals, not enemies. Fear is information, frustration is feedback, fatigue is a warning. When you suppress instead of process, you turn trading into an emotional war, and wars drain people. Let me make this real. You take a loss, you say, it's fine, part of the game. But inside, your body tightens, your jaw clenches, your breathing shortens. You don't acknowledge it, you just move on. Then another loss, same thing. By trade 5, you're numb. And numb traders don't make clean decisions, they make impulsive ones. That's emotional exhaustion in disguise. Number 3, your identity as a trader is exhausting you. This one hits hard. Most traders don't just trade, they identify as traders. Every win confirms who they are, every loss threatens it. That's emotional pressure most people never see. If a trade loses, it's not just money. It feels like, I'm failing, I'm not cut out for this, I'm behind. Your brain links performance to self-worth, and that's heavy. Because now every decision carries emotional weight. You're not just executing a plan, you're protecting an identity. And identity-based pressure burns people out fast. Psychology calls this ego depletion. When too much of your self-image is tied to outcomes, you drain emotional energy just being in the market. That's why breaks feel uncomfortable. You don't know who you are without charts, and that constant attachment is exhausting. Here's the irony. The more you care about being disciplined, the harder discipline becomes because you're forcing it through ego. Real consistency feels calm, boring, detached, not intense, not obsessive, not emotionally charged. Number 4, overtrading is often a fatigue response, not greed. Let's clear something up. Overtrading isn't always about wanting more. Sometimes it's about wanting relief from waiting, uncertainty, emotional tension. The brain hates open loops. When you're emotionally tired, you seek closure. A trade gives you that. Win or lose, at least something happened. That's why tired traders click. Not because the setup is good, but because inaction feels heavier than action. This is decision fatigue. After making too many decisions, the brain defaults to the easiest one, and clicking a button is easy, restraint is not. So when you tell yourself, I'm addicted to trading, I can't stop overtrading, pause, ask a better question. Am I emotionally rested or emotionally drained? Because rested traders don't chase, tired ones do. Number 5, you don't need more discipline, you need recovery. This is the shift that changes everything. High-performing traders don't rely on willpower, they manage energy. They don't ask, how do I force discipline? They ask, how do I reduce emotional load? They simplify, they create routines, they remove unnecessary decisions. They trade less, but better. They accept boredom, they normalize breaks, they separate identity from outcomes. And most importantly, they recover. Recovery isn't weakness, it's strategy. Sleep, movement, time away from screens, emotional decompression. You can't out-discipline a depleted nervous system, and no amount of motivation fixes burnout. So let me say this clearly. If you're constantly fighting yourself in trading, you're not broken, you're tired. And tired systems make mistakes. So stop asking, what's wrong with me? Start asking, what's draining me? Is it too much screen time, too many markets, too much pressure to perform, too little rest? Discipline returns naturally when exhaustion leaves. Here's the real lesson. Consistency isn't about pushing harder. It's about creating conditions where discipline doesn't feel like effort, where following rules feels obvious, where patience feels natural, where one loss doesn't shake you. That's not mindset hype. That's psychology. So, if this hit you, if you've felt this exhaustion, you're not alone, and you're closer than you think. Slow down, protect your energy, trade from clarity, not fatigue. And if you want more conversations like this, more decoding of the trader's mind, stay here. Because the real edge isn't in the chart, it's in how you treat your nervous system every single day.